Damn, it's been a while. Time to get back into the somewhat bi-weekly news with all the latest previews and announcements so far in the month of January. I've got Fate, I've got Gundam, even some Promare and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's take a look at what's coming out. Let's start mainstream with My Hero Academia's teaser for the All Might Rising OVA, a special short that's included with the Blu-ray release of the most recent movie. It covers the tragic battle between Nana Shimura and All For One, back when All Might was in his training days. There's no word yet on how long this OVA is going to be, but we'll find out soon enough once the Blu-ray drops on February 13th. Next, I actually have two Fate previews to share with you. The first is for the Fate Grand Order Babylonia adaptation of the 7th Singularity, also more widely known as Order 7, the absolute frontline in the war against the demonic beasts, Babylonia, Chain of Heavens. If you remember when I covered it last, it's set in the year 2655 BC, right in Gilgamesh's hometown of Mesopotamia. In the newest teaser, we were shown three visuals, one of Castor Gilgamesh, another of Enkidu, and then Mash. But you can also expect to see Ishtar, amongst other notable servants I'm sure. Now, even though it's been announced for a while now, there still isn't any confirmed release date on this Studio Cloverworks aka A1 Pictures production, but you know I'll try to keep you updated. Then, the second Fate-related anime is one that you may have already heard of, because it actually had a one-episode special that aired on December 31st. That being Lord L. Meloy, aka Waver's Case Files, who, if you remember, was the Master of Rider in Fate Zero. So this series takes place a bit into the future, approximately 10 years after Fate Zero, where a grown-up Waver has received an inheritance of Audra Castle, which he then goes to claim, only to find a bunch of other people who he must then compete against in a game of wits to win the inheritance. And if you're well versed enough in the Fate universe, you'd also recognize Luvia from Fate Hollow Ataraxia as one of the contestants. As for the anime in general, it's more of a mystery one than it is a Sakuga-filled battle royale, and it's also produced by the same studio and director that just did Bloom Into You. That being said, I think it'd be an interesting look into some of the less violent aspects of the Fate universe. That's not to say that there isn't any action, just not as much as what we're used to. As I said though, you can get a taste for it from the special episode that aired last year, but the full TV series isn't expected until July. Now let's talk about some Gundam, specifically Blooded Orphans, which isn't quite getting the sequel that we had hoped for, but it's still a sequel nonetheless, so I'm all for it. And what I mean by that is, unfortunately, it's not a TV anime like its predecessor. It's an ONA spin-off series that will be released via the upcoming mobile game. As for the story, it takes place during the same timeline as the original IBO, where word of Tekadan's underdog story and rise to power have reached our new main character, who happens to be from an even lesser developed planet than Mars, Venus. So I'm sure you can guess how well their situation is over there. After hearing of Tekadan's success, he gets motivated to create change on Venus in the same way. And he's even equipped with his own Barbatos lookalike, called Hajiroboshi. So it's looking like it'll more or less follow the same template as the first season of IBO. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I just hope it has a less bleak ending. Anyway, no release date yet, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. In other Gundam news, we have the first trailer for the upcoming trilogy called Hathaway's Flash, which connects to the other Gundams through various previous shows and movies that I certainly don't know well enough to quickly summarize for you. All I know for sure is that it's adapting the 1989 novel of the same name, and the animation for it looks pretty good so far. Too bad I have absolutely no idea what's going on with the story. Next up, we have a very brief teaser for the upcoming Ufotable adaptation of yet another popular Shonen Jump series called Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. And if you know anything about Ufotable, you'd know then that they are highly capable of producing god-tier animation. That being said, I don't think it's too optimistic to go into the show with high expectations. Simply knowing it's a combination of a Shonen Jump series with a Ufotable look is more than enough to get me intrigued. As for a release date, you can expect this series to start airing in April. Psychopaths has 3 movies coming out, all related to the trilogy called Sinners of the System, which I've actually already covered before. Really, I'm only sharing it again because 1, we got 2 new trailers, and 2, holy shit, you gotta hear the Boom Boom Satellites remix of this song.
You're never
行方不明の国防軍兵士大友樹フットスタンプ作
I mean, every trailer so far has had a pretty dope remix of previous Psychopaths opening and endings, so I thought that you guys might be interested in hearing what's to come. Lastly, in the preview section, we got a brand new full trailer for Promare, and it reveals a hell of a lot more than what we've seen in the past. We're introduced to 2 new characters, Cray Foresight, who seems to be the leader of Gallo and his firefighting squad, then Leo Fotia, which, judging by the new visual and the way that he dresses, seems to be the main villain and pilot of the evil-looking mech, of which we're actually shown 2 more. We're definitely getting a broader vision on Trigger's newest world of mechs, and so far it's looking pretty good. And colorful. Very colorful. Now, moving on to the newest anime announcements. First off, based on reports from attendees at the Cancol Jazz Festival, we will be getting a new Cancol anime. On February 10th, we'll be getting a TV anime adaptation of the Naruto novel called Naruto Shinden, aka The New Legend of Naruto. The romantic comedy manga, Rikekoi, is also getting an anime. The popular winter 2018 anime called Teasing Master Takagi-san is confirmed to be getting a 2nd season. Bungo Stray Dogs is getting a season 3 in April. Diamond No Ace got a new visual for its upcoming Act 2, and the newest Fruits Basket anime got a new visual. Then, the Made in Abyss sequel film will be called Dawn of a Deep Soul, and the 3rd part to Fate Heaven's Feel will be called Spring Song, with a confirmed Spring 2020 release date. And lastly, other new anime adaptations include Inspector, Kimono Michi, and How Many Kilograms Are the Dumbbells You Lift. As you can tell, there are plenty manga to anime adaptations coming our way, so feel free to let me know which ones that you're most excited for. Anyway, that's pretty much all the news that I've got for you today. I'm hoping to get back into making these news videos a sort of bi-weekly thing, of course given that there's enough new stuff to talk about, but I'm sure you're well aware of how long it takes for me to create all my other content. We'll just see how things go as the days go on. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime news content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time, ciao!